Hey, what's up? This is Chris. We're here at New York Comic Con talking about Black Sails. Now, you guys had your panel last night. What was the reception like here?
It was great. I think the hope was that we could tell a story that would be surprising and in its tone and in the approach to the world, and people seem to be responding that way. So it's exciting.
Awesome. So let's set the stage. What era of pirates is this? What part of history are we talking about?
It's the 17 teens in and around Nassau in the Bahamas, where the pirate problem got so severe that the English pulled the flag down and left, and so they were left to their own devices. So it is it's a frontier story. It's a story about these people who kind of have to rely on each other to figure out a way to survive it.
So total lawlessness, or do they make their own sort of society?
They survived somehow for a while, so it couldn't have been totally lawless. But I mean, there is nobody. There's no authority. The only thing holding it together is themselves, and either restraint or fear or whatever it took to keep people in line.
Economic reality as well. I mean,
Yeah.
They had to make money. They had to fence their goods. So there's Ellen and Guthrie is like the economic hub of this island, and so that kind of creates some kind of control over these people.
So tell me a little bit about your character, what you play, and sort of like your you don't have to tell me the whole course, but like what your path is.
Yeah. Okay, so I play Captain Flint. He's the captain of the Walrus. And when we meet him at the beginning of the first episode, he has historically been the biggest earner on the island, and he has this fearsome reputation, him and his crew. But he's had a fallow period, and his crew are beginning to doubt him. And there's a character on board the ship who is vying to become captain. Now, these captaincies it was a democracy. They were elected captain. If you weren't coming up with the goods, then the crew would boot you out and they'd vote somebody else on. So we meet him on the back foot, trying to deal with a political situation on his boat, and at the same time he's aiming to try and get this Spanish treasure bullion off this Spanish ship. But he's got to track down the ship. And that's his kind of super objective, is to get that treasure so that he'll have enough money to actually make the island of Nassau an independent place that can protect itself.
Why do you think right now is the time to talk about pirates? Why is this the perfect time for the series?
They've never really gone away. I mean, I think there have been so many different iterations of them, but I think it's really just in the last couple of years that you can make this show technically, financially, that the visual effects are good enough and fast enough and cheap enough to be able to create this world and to be able to create a place in history that doesn't exist anymore.
A lot of the stuff I've seen in trailers makes it look very practical. So what's the mix like of practical and CG?
Well, hopefully it'll be totally seamless for an audience. I mean, I've seen 7 out of the 8 episodes, and at times I had to pinch myself because I was like, where does this join up? Because I really can't tell, and that's just great because it delivers visually. It creates this whole world that an audience can believe in and they can lose themselves in. I mean, it also gives it a kind of scope and an epic quality where it delivers the kind of the adventure aspect of this thing. At the same time, it is centered around these real human beings, these characters, and a story that you want to watch. You want to find out what happens to these people.
There's other scripted pirate shows happening simultaneously. How important is it that you're on cable and you're able to show more?
I think, when this show started into development, there were even more than there are now. I think at a certain point you just have to hope that you're telling the best story you can tell, and if the show works, hopefully an audience will find it, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't really matter what else anybody's doing. So.
Well, we'll all be watching. Thanks a lot for talking, and keep it locked to IGN for more on New York Comic Con.